What's up everybody, Gundam Flexing here, and in this video I'll be going over a very basic scribing tutorial. These methods will help you add more panel lines and give your dull pieces a little more feature. This tutorial is particularly helpful on older master grade kits or high grade kits where a few pieces can be bland and dull. There are a few ways to add new panel lines, so I hope you take what you learned from this video and progress your skills even further. Before we begin this tutorial, you will need all the proper equipment. Here's what you need as seen in front of you. Number 1. A Tamiya Scriber II. This is a very inexpensive product which can help you with creating your panel lines. The Tamiya Scriber is a popular tool used by many modelers and is a must-have in this tutorial. If you choose to use the Tamiya Scriber, you'll get 2 additional replacement blades. Number 2. A pencil and eraser. You will need a pencil and eraser to mark and draft your lines on your Gunpla piece. Number 3. Dymo tape. Dymo tape isn't necessary as any thick tape will do. Just be sure to avoid thin tape like the thin yellow Tamiya tape or the traditional Scotch tape. Thin tape won't be helpful because the scriber will cut into them and you won't be able to cut in a straight line. Number 4. Sandpaper. I have sandpaper varying from 1500 to 2500 grit. You'll be using these after you scribe your lines into your Gunpla piece. Number 5. Panel line marker or panel line ink. Having a panel line marker or panel line ink can really improve your final product. If you choose to use panel line ink, make sure you have the proper tools to remove the excess. And if you choose to use the panel line marker, just be sure you have an eraser to remove the excess. And finally, your Gunpla piece. I highly recommend practicing scribing on a flat and even piece before moving to rounded or uneven surfaces. For this tutorial, I'll be making simple scribing lines on the Full Mechanics Gundam Bale wing piece. Now that you have all your tools, let's get started. Our first step in this tutorial is to first draft your lines on your Gunpla piece. For this, you'll need a piece of tape and a pencil to sketch out your plan. Remember, panel lines are generally straight with sharp and angled turns and are also generally symmetric. So, for this example, this side is going to be symmetric with the right side. Now, as you see, I've already drafted something in front of me, and it was very simple. All I did was I used the tape, pressed it against the piece, and then I used a pencil and I went over the line. I moved the tape down and repeated, and for the sake of symmetry, I repeated the same process on the opposite end. And just to add a couple more lines as options, I just went ahead and added a straight line across, moved it down, and added another straight line across. Now, it's not necessary that I actually sketch out and scribe everything. This is just to see what my options are. And for this tutorial, I think I'm going to scribe out this V shape here, the V shape at the bottom, and then maybe do a simple shape at the bottom right here. So once you sketch out your plan, you're ready to go for the second step. Now that you have your plan all drafted up, you're ready to execute step number 2. And in this step, I'm going to use my Tamiya Scriber II. I'm going to use this little pin here. And I'm going to use the exact same tape I used in step number 1. And how you're going to do this is you're going to use this tape and you're going to go over your design that you want to execute like this. And this will serve as a guide for your scriber. Now, this is why it's important to use tape like Dymo tape because it's thick. If you use thin tape, you may accidentally cut into it and you're going to ruin your straight lines. And because we're going to go with a V shape here, there are 2 ways to create the stop for your scriber tool. The first way is to use more tape to create that V and it'll stop the tool from going farther than it needs to. Or I'm going to use this pin. I'm going to make a little dot at the tip of the V, and that will serve as a catch. So as the scriber is going from top to bottom, it will immediately catch itself into here, and that's when I know when to stop. And as you scribe, I'm going to put this on a flat surface. You want to go in a general direction. And keep in mind that less is more. So if you cut out too much plastic, it's almost impossible to go back. However, if you don't cut that many, you're able to check your progress and try to match the depth of whatever you have in mind. And for the depth of this example, I'm going to make it a little deeper than the ones currently on this kit. So with that, here we go. I'm going to make a little hole at the tip of the V so I know where to stop. And I'm going to use a scriber and go in a single direction until I hit that stop. Let's see how this turns out. Now I only went a couple times over the line, and already you could see the shape being formed from this end to this end. And I'm going to repeat this step on the opposite end as well. Going to match the shape on the tape and repeat this step as I go from top to bottom a couple more times. We see here we made pretty good shape right here. You could tell the indentions right in there all the way to the tip of the V. And we're going to repeat this for the second layer of the V and then for the little small shape at the bottom. So enjoy the speed build. Now that you've made your lines, step 3 in this tutorial will require you to clean the surface and even the surface. And the reason why is because as you scribe, you can create uneven surfaces along the lines, and it'll look really bad when you start to panel line everything without sanding that surface. So first, I'm going to use this eraser, and I'm just going to clean up all the drafted marks of this kit. And as I do, you can definitely tell where the lines are. Right here and right here. So I'm going to just erase it a little bit more to remove all that pencil stuff like this. And then I'm going to start at a roughly around maybe like 2000 grit paper, and I'm just going to go along and clean it up here and just even the surface. Even the surface along the panel lining. And as you do this, you don't want to press down too hard on the paper or use a grit that's not appropriate, because you may literally erase all the panels, all the lines you just made. So here it is. You can tell where the V is, right there and right there. The surface feels smooth and could use a little bit more cleanup, but that's it for step number 3. So now that our piece is even and clean, we're ready to go to step number 4, and that's the final touch-up. For this step, I'm going to use the Tamiya panel line ink versus the marker. This ink, don't forget you're going to have the proper tools and equipment to remove all the excess. And I'm just going to drop a few ink droplets into the panel line, and if we did a good job, the line should be smooth and the ink should run evenly. Right there, and we'll use the proper tools to remove any of the excess as well. So here we go. Now I'm going to use a cotton swab with the appropriate material and remove any of the excess. But I could say that as a basic tutorial, as a basic guide, I think I did a very good job. This is an even scribing tutorial. This is an even scribing mark right here and there. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial, and as you can see, adding new panel lines to flat pieces can be very easy. This is an inexpensive tutorial which could take your modeling a long way. And be sure to check out the other scribing tutorials on YouTube. There are some crazy out-of-the-world techniques and designs which are all incredibly impressive. But remember, in order to master those, you need to learn the basics. So if you have any questions or comments, please post them down in the section below. And if you think you could add on more information to this tutorial, please share them with us. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you all next time. Peace out.